After their first win of the season against the Cleveland Indians, the Sox return home to take on Cleveland one more time. Game number 3 of a 4-game series, and it is Authentic Fan Night. We will meet our second Authentic Fan this lovely evening at Guaranteed Rate Field. Thanks for joining us once again. Jason Benetti, Steve Stone along with you. And the Sox DH position with Daniel Palka and Matt Davidson has been hitting the ball very well.
Last night it was Matt Davidson's turn, and he had a back issue which kept him on the shelf for a bit. But coming off, he was slugging the baseball. Taking it the opposite way, it's the first of his 2 doubles. And this one started the Sox off scoring. They scored 3 in the first inning and never gave it up. That one high off the wall. Allen can't get to it. By the time he rushed it in, Polka scored. So it was quite a night for Matt Davidson. It's been quite a run for the designated hitters, and hopefully that continues.
All right, now we're going to give you the list of players who are more improved this year from last year than Dylan Covey.
Nobody. Dylan Covey has been a revelation this year, and he's throwing the ball exceptionally well. Anytime you beat Boston 1-0 in Boston, you're getting it done. So let's take a look at some of the better pitches of that night. The sinker was sinking. The slider was sliding. His split change was just outstanding. There's a breaking ball inside, and he overmatched him and beat Chris Sale. That was quite a performance, and as you can see, went 6 innings, didn't give up any runs on 3 hits. He's going to have to be good tonight because Trevor Bauer usually is. And last time out against Detroit, he went 8 innings, gave up a run, walked 1, and fanned 12. Despite the fact that his ERA is down, he is not overwhelming in the record this year. That's because he hasn't had a lot of support, but he throws the ball very well.
We'll see if he gets support tonight. Game number 3 of a 4-game series between the Sox and Indians. Stay for the first inning. You never know what's going to happen. Bombs away. Moncada and Sanchez yesterday. First pitch just around the corner.
Sports Chicago is brought to you in part by Toyota. Tested, trusted, Toyota. Toyota, let's go places. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois. Through it all. By Lexus, who encourages you to experience amazing. And by Miller Lite, the original light beer. Miller Lite, hold true.
Game 3 on tap as the Sox and Indians get together. Game 4 is a day game tomorrow. We'll see who has the advantage in the series after 9 innings tonight. Dylan Covey to the mound. And our authentic fan night. So you tweet in to us, #AuthenticFan, and we will show you at the ballpark, wherever you might be, what makes you the authentic fan. And we'll have an interview with our authentic fan for tonight later on. Anytime you use youngin in a tweet, we're going to show it too. That's the rule. Let's tell you about the starting lineup for the Cleveland Indians. And Terry Francona is brought to you by the Webb Auto Group. Lindor once again at the top, then Brantley, who struggled recently but has hit the Sox well this year. Encarnacion dealing with an injury, back in. Kipnis as well. Perez, who was hit in the hand the other day, back in the lineup too.
The defensive setup for our Sox presented by UI Health, and this is how Ricky is going to put them out there tonight with Charlie, Adam, and Trace in the outfield, left to right. Then it's Yolmer, Tim, Yohan, and Jose in the infield. Kevin Smith gets a nod behind the plate, and our Lexus experienced amazing starting pitcher is Dylan Covey. He's been brilliant lately, on for his 6th start. He's 2-1, but an ERA of .222. Left-handers have not hit him very well. That's because of the split change, and the opposition overall hasn't done much with him. The umpires for the game tonight: Scott Berry has the plate, Carlos Torres is at first base, Paul Nauert, the crew chief, is at second, and Tom Woodring, who did a nice job behind the plate last night, is at third base. Terry Francona, 13 consecutive years over 500, one of the fine managers in the game. Overall, you look at his numbers, close to a .540 winning percentage, and that will improve this year as the Indians, off to a relatively slow start for them. A lot of people felt they would dominate the division, and so far they're in first place, but there's still some hope in the division that maybe Minnesota and Detroit might be able to catch them, although they're 5 and 5.5 back respectively. So we're ready for baseball, and I'm ready to throw it over to my vociferous play-by-play partner, Jason Benetti.
Steve, thank you so much. We are excited about Authentic Fan Night. You can tweet with the #AuthenticFan, and Steve will be doing so with selfies throughout the ball game. So that'll be exciting. Francisco Lindor to face Dylan Covey as the Seagulls have cleared off the field.
As soon as the fireworks started, the Seagulls departed.
Usually a safe bet. And there is ball number 1 to Lindor. We are underway from Guaranteed Rate Field this Wednesday evening. 7:10 first pitch, says returning scorekeeper Bob Rosenberg. And there's that sinker from Dylan Covey, which he's relied on heavily this year.
He's got to have that pitch, and it wasn't called by Scott Berry. That was actually in the zone, but if he's not going to call the low strike, Dylan's going to have some problems.
2-1 on Francisco Lindor, and here is what Covey threw against Boston. You see, heavy sinker.
Few curveballs, very few changeups. You don't really need a change when you have the kind of split change he has.
One stray bird flying in front of our starting pitcher tonight.
Not easily distracted, however.
That's true. Great focus on that bird. 2-2, check swing, ball up, and he didn't go. So 3-2 on Lindor, who's actually just 5 for his last 32 coming into this game tonight.
He is one of their base stealing threats, and you certainly don't want to walk him. 80% efficiency rate, 8 of 10.
3-2 on the ground to first, and Jose Abreu for out number 1 as we say hello to our reporter on the bird scene, Chuck Cartfine.
There are birds. There's a lot of moths as well. I think the Seagulls want to have some dinner. Let's talk about Dylan Covey. He's been a whole different pitcher this year, and I spoke to Don Cooper before the game asking why. What is different? He pointed to 4 different things. He says he's had outstanding movement on his fastball. He's changing speeds. He's working faster, and he's a lot more confident. Last year, there wasn't the confidence. He actually admitted that he said, I was hoping that the hitters wouldn't hit my pitches. He was nibbling. He was making mistakes as a result, but now his feeling is, here it is, hit it, and he likes his chances. He's pitching with a whole lot more confidence this year.
Steve, you felt that before, right? Your first short time in the majors?
I think it's difficult when you first show up on the scene if you don't have overwhelming stuff. And eventually you get to the point where you realize not only do you belong here, but you can excel here. And Dylan Covey is feeling that right now. He's among all of baseball's leaders in throwing ground balls. And when you have a sinker the way he has, you can let him hit the ball. They're going to beat it into the ground, and more times than not, they're going to hit it at somebody.
In the air, toward the flock and down. Brantley with a one-out base hit, but Dylan Covey, when you compare what he threw last year as to this year, the sinker has more than doubled. The four-seam fastball, pardon the pun tonight, has gone to the mothballs.
Well, the four-seam fastball stays up, and Dylan is making his year this year because of that sinker and getting the opponents to hit the ball on the ground. But in the first inning, and we talk about it a lot, sinker ballers will give up line drives and fly balls, where later in the game, as they start to fatigue somewhat, they start throwing ground balls.
This ground ball sneaks through. It's a base hit for Ramirez, and Brantley up to second base. A 2-on, 1-out against Covey for a Cleveland team that has seen him already. It was just a couple weeks ago at Progressive Field that they got a look at Dylan Covey.
That's always to the advantage of the offensive team, because they know how Covey went after him last time, and you can see Ramirez not waiting around, picking on the first pitch, and now you've got the man you're looking for because he's grounded into 7 double plays this year. That's tops on the team in that department. He never had great speed. He's had some injuries to fight through, so the speed isn't even close to what it was, and if he hits the ball on the ground, it will be too.
Don Cooper was actually comparing Covey to John Garland, because in 2000, when Garland came up as a rookie in 13 starts, he had an ERA of 6.46. When Covey came up last year, his ERA was 7. The next year for Garland in 2001, he cut his ERA in half, 3.69. So the hope is Covey will have a similar path in his career.
Well, he's starting down that road, certainly, in terms of comparison shopping year to year, as this ball ends up with Moncada, and off the juggle, he'll only get 1. Encarnacion, as you said, does not run well, and it could have been 2 instead. Second and third, 2 down.
So in trying to explain this, young players, the game moves very quickly for them. A veteran player would take that. The game would almost look like it was in slow motion. But you see all the movements of Moncada. He's trying to hurry everything up. He doesn't have to hurry. He's got a very slow man running to first base, and as you can see after the bobble, they still got him. So trying to make 2 before you get 1 is usually the case for dropping the baseball, and now Cleveland gets an opportunity with another out.
Yonder Alonso takes ball number 1. Typically in Major League Baseball, donating outs leads to problems on the scoreboard.
Well, it's extra pitches. That's number 1, and we'll check and see here. It's 1 extra pitch so far, but it's not that. It's just that you're facing quality hitters up and down that lineup. When you give an opportunity to hit with runners in scoring position as opposed to leading off the next inning, you're doing them a big favor.
Time called. Cleveland comes in 35-30. That was a good 5 games up on Minnesota when the day started. Twins are currently in the 3rd inning against Detroit. It's 2-1 Minnesota at the Tigers. And time called again. Ball breaks low, 2-0 on Yonder Alonso, who in 4 straight games has at least 1 walk. So he has been terribly patient in recent days for Cleveland.
Well, you got to be careful here. You got first base open. You got Melky Cabrera in the on-deck circle. Melky hitting .204, has not hit a home run yet. Alonso's hit 11 of them, and this is a tough pitch to make against a quality hitter. Not quite sure what is bothering Dylan at this point, but the sign was accepted, and he just didn't throw the baseball.
It's not really been much of a decision pitch-wise. 14 pitches, 12 sinkers so far. 2 balls and a strike on Alonso.
Took a little something off. That was either a cutter or a slider. But it was a good time for it at 2-0.
Brantley at third, Ramirez at second, first inning. Two and one. Ball stayed up and fouled away. 2-2. Yonder Alonso, 31 years old, out of Miami. Dylan Covey, 26-year-old, former first-round pick of the Brewers. 2-2. That runs in there for strike 3. Great movement again from Covey. Stops Alonso in his tracks. No score after a half inning. Sports, Mitsubishi's, Genesis, and Hyundai's at the best price. Go to webcars.com. Moncada and Sanchez went back-to-back to start the game yesterday. Polka in the 4th spot, very dangerous. Engel in the 8th position, 309 in the last couple of weeks.
Defensive setup for the Indians, presented by UI Health, and this is how Terry Francona puts them out there with Brantley, Allen, and Cabrera left to right. Ramirez, Lindor, Kipnis, and Alonso in the infield. Roberto Perez gets the nod behind the plate, and our Lexus Experience amazing starting pitcher is Trevor Bauer. On for his 14th start, ERA a fine 2.62, 109 strikeouts in 86 innings. He's got overwhelming stuff. Throws a good curveball, has a fastball, cuts it a bit, and doesn't throw that many changes.
He throws a lot of stuff.
Yes, he does.
He is quite the laboratory of things that he uncorks.
Former first-round draft pick of the Arizona Diamondbacks. That was in 2011. 3rd player chosen overall.
Born in North Hollywood, always wanted to be a pitcher of some kind. He started playing long toss at age 10.
It's a good way to stretch out the arm.
In elementary school.
Can't beat that. 27 years old and came over to the Indians in a huge deal. A lot of pieces going everywhere.
Called strike 3, slightly off the inside corner, 1 down. All right, here's what Trevor Bauer throws this season, but again, that changes year to year. The slider more so this year than last year.
He's got a good curveball, that slider at 15%. And as you can see, the changeup down at 6% with the cutter at 8%. So he does throw a whole lot of pitches. Everything he throws moves. He just is a mainstay in the middle of this rotation. Last year 17-9 in 31 starts.
Sox missed him at Progressive Field. This 4-game series, the Sox will miss Corey Kluber, which isn't a terrible thing.
He's fun to watch, but not from 60 feet 6 inches away.
Bauer currently a very quick worker.
He has been working much more quickly, and he's thrown a couple of straight changes already, which for him is unusual.
Good sharp bite on that breaking ball low and in, 2-2.
That's his slider, and not only does it break in, but it breaks down to the left-hander. It breaks down and in, and it breaks quickly and late. And when it does that, hitter just can't square it up.
Two and two. That's inside 3-2. One thing that Yolmer Sanchez has done a lot more of this year is see pitches at the plate. He's at about 4 pitches per plate appearance, which would be his career high. There he takes ball 4, so Sanchez works a 1-out walk. In case you're wondering what you're going to see on tonight's telecast, other than 54 outs or 51 or more. Authentic Fan Night. You can share your posts with the hashtag Authentic Fan, as we've told you about. Sox Serve Week. Mystery baseballs are on sale. We'll have a couple of special guests that you may know their husbands, certainly. And then around Major League Baseball, one-on-one outfielder versus outfielder. We'll tell you who and what coming up later.
But you have to watch with Bauer. He throws a lot of curveballs in the dirt. He's got 7 wild pitches, and so the good secondary lead is essential with Bauer on the hill.
Abreu rocks this ball to right, but Melky's right there. That was an absolute seed for out number 2.
Unlike the last few nights where it's been very damp and very, very much dead at the ballpark, and dead by, it just hasn't been lively. The ball hasn't been carrying out, and Jose drills this ball. It's going to be a whole lot livelier tonight. It's warmer. It's going to get warmer, and what wind there is blowing toward the right field corner, although right now not that much of a factor. It should freshen up a bit.
Off the bat at about 104 miles an hour. And not good enough for anything but out number 2 for Daniel Polka. Curveball, strike 1. We had video last night of Todd Steverson talking to Daniel Polka after an early walk in the game, and we were discussing what the possibilities were there and why they would have that conversation. And Daniel said that Steverson came over to him and said, look, just because you're ahead 3-1 doesn't mean they're going to necessarily give you a hittable pitch. This was right after, you remember, it was 3-1. He swung at the 3-1 that was out of the zone, then 3-2. And then he finally took ball 4.
Well, the only thing that's really stopped a high average this year, because the power numbers are good, but he swings at a lot of pitches up and out of the strike zone, and that's where the pitchers have been trying to get it. Yolmer will occasionally take off, and so you have to hold him close at first base. Not our most prolific base stealer, but 6 out of 8 is not all bad, and the Sox 54-12. As you see the shift with Kipnis way back there, second base.
There goes Yolmer, high throw to second, and safe. He got in there.
That's likely to go as another wild pitch. That would be the 8th, and we talked about that curveball that winds up in the dirt. Perez is pretty good. Terry Francona wants to take a look at it. He sends Brad Mills to the phone, and good heads-up base running. We talked about the secondary lead. The throw from Perez is up. It looked like he was safe easily. The call by Paul Nauert. We'll slow it down for you. Concentrate on that foot. And it does get in before the tag, and it is a wild pitch. Apparently they're going to take a look at it. Terry thinks the tag was in. And we'll have to wait and see what they say in New York.
His people must be pretty sure, because if you burn your challenge in the first inning over a 2-out, 1-base situation.
And normally that's not what you want to do, but
I thought Lindor missed the tag at first.
it looked to me like the foot was in before the tag, and we'll slow it down once again. He goes up to get the throw, and the foot's on the bag right now. It doesn't look like he tagged the leg, actually. So from that angle, it looks more definitive that the foot is in before the tag, but they saw something in the Cleveland clubhouse which would say, take a look.
Unless they thought he came off the bag, but it didn't seem like he did.
It didn't come off the bag. It would have been on the initial tag.
Again, you need indisputable video evidence to overturn. You need convincing proof to overturn the call on the field. And on a play this close, the value of replay card, which each team has in one iteration or another to say when you should challenge. And some teams have like a 1 through 5 rating system where they say, well, this one's a 3, and then you kind of evaluate it. This seems like a pretty high risk situation and a low reward.
They're having a hard time in New York, and normally the longer it takes, the more the call stands. There's no definitive proof.
But again, New York has angles that we don't have. So we will see, but this is a lengthy review process. And there are some people who are in favor of, hey, if it goes a certain amount of time, you cut it off and say call stands.
I'm thinking of a minute.
Yep.
If you can't find it out in a minute, then get on with the baseball game. They're trying to do a lot of things to speed it up. That would be a good way to do it, because this is a fairly lengthy challenge.
Safe.
I have a hard time understanding why Terry would do that, and I think you hit it right when you talk about the high risk, low reward situation. You have 2 outs. If it's a leadoff hitter in an inning and you're going through the middle of the order, that's one thing. But in this situation, they lost their challenge.
2 minutes 21 seconds on that review. And when you hear officiating coordinators in other sports, and this is not baseball, but coordinators in other sports talk about how to handle replay, they talk to their replay officials about not trying to be a hero. Don't try to find something, just play with the video you have and evaluate from there. 1-2 is swung on and missed, and that will do it for the inning. But the Indians lose their challenge, and it's no score after 1. And we'd like to welcome all our viewers streaming the game on DirecTV Now.
They're streaming it now, or is it DirecTV Now?
The service is DirecTV Now.
Oh.
And if I could have wagered money on that being what I got from that welcome, I would be leaving the booth.
You'd be a wealthy man?
Well, I would just be celebrating and then come back for the bottom of the second inning. 1 strike to Melky turns into 2 strikes on Melky Cabrera, who did not play last night. He had a bat in his hand in case of pinch hit opportunity as the Sox bullpen closed out the game with Cedeno and Soria after Nate Jones. And Nate now on the DL with a pronator issue. So Juan Minaya up from AAA Charlotte. It is a pronator muscle strain in Nate Jones's right arm.
Hopefully he gets back quickly. He was throwing it pretty well. He's finished 11 games and he has 4 saves.
Nate Jones, 4.01 ERA, 24 2/3. Opponents hitting only 226, and most of those runs are glaring because they've come in big spots. Whether luck or fortune or whatever it might be, he's had one of those seasons where he's been very good with the exception of a couple memorable outings.
The one against Minnesota comes to mind.
Yeah.
That was a tough one for him.
3-2 on Melky Cabrera. Upstairs for strike 3. Melky tried to unload and missed. One down.
That was a high change, and that isn't where Dylan wanted it, but he got away with it. Kevin wants a change. He wants it down. He keeps it up, and it was not the location but the velocity that wound up doing the trick.
He fills up the strike zone again to Jason Kipnis, who's just 1 for his last 16 coming in. The movement on that fastball is impressive.
Well, especially when he tries to throw it right at the right hip of a left-hand hitter. That's how he got Alonso. That's most likely how he's going to go after Kipnis after this pitch.
Well, we showed you earlier that Covey's using the sinker so much more often, and you look at the movement comparatively on the 4-seam fastball compared to the 2-seam fastball, and it's a major difference.
Yeah, much more so. Well, it's designed for that. The 4-seam fastball is designed to be the hardest pitch you throw. You get backspin on it, and if anything, the illusion is that it goes up. With the 2-seamer, it goes down, and it runs away from left-hand hitters. You're trying to get movement as opposed to velocity.
On the ground and foul. Dylan Covey so far 4 outs in the game, 2 strikeouts and 2 groundouts, and that's not a shock considering he has the highest ground ball rate of any starting pitcher in baseball.
Cahill notorious for his sinker. Stroman has got a good one, as you can see, and Clayton Richard. But Dylan Covey leading the pack. Comes in particularly handy in this ballpark because when it gets very warm, the ball flies out of here. If you throw ground balls, you can't very well hit it out.
Check swing into the glove. Strike 3. 3 straight strikeouts for Covey. And your 2018 Chicago White Sox are presented by Guaranteed Rate, your trusted teammate throughout the mortgage process. Experience the difference today at rate.com. Sox have won 5 of 8, trying to guarantee at least a split of this series with first place Cleveland, and the schedule couldn't be much tougher over the past couple of weeks as Moncada handles the ground ball and sizes up the throw for out number 3. 5 in a row retired by Covey. We're scoreless through 1.5.
Chicago is going to share the experience with you. Share your photos with us all game long using the hashtag #AuthenticFan. It may be shown later in our broadcast.
Or right now, in fact. At least 10 games a year with his friends since 2010. Maybe that's our next authentic fan, with an authentic cameraman in front and an authentic stuffed animal in back. That's picture in picture.
That is that. Years ago it had been a Beanie Baby. Now it's just a stuffed toy.
Did you collect Beanie Babies?
No.
When they were
I
hot?
did not.
You didn't? Coming to you. Oh, boy.
It was close. It was just on the outside.
You had a shot at that.
I know it was low and away. No, I'd have to lean out of the booth, and I couldn't possibly do that.
You could have.
Let's see. Hands? Not so much.
Hands of stone,
Yep.
if you will.
I'll get the next one.
That was humming pretty good.
Yeah, that had some on it. Well, Kevin's been swinging real well.
Yeah.
So now he's hitting it backwards with something on it.
Which is usually a good sign.
That and the fact you're under it.
Kevin Smith, 8 for 19 since coming up from AAA Charlotte.
Usually he uses right and right center. There's nobody home in straightaway center and left center field. If he pulled it, he would run all day.
Well, Cleveland is playing 30 in the outfield, but 27 of them are birds.
There's a lot of bugs in the outfield, and the birds are taking advantage of it.
It's dinner time.
It's a bird buffet.
Of course it is. 1-2 from Bauer. Sails outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Bauer out of UCLA, and we've seen a whole lot of pitchers in the major leagues from that fine establishment. Adam Plutko from UCLA, Garrett Cole from UCLA, although they will not be having dinner together anytime soon.
Same high school as James Shields, Hart High School in California. Todd Zeal as well. Bob Walk.
Let's have a good program there. Especially good for pitchers.
Sorry, Scott Reifert lookalike contest.
He doesn't look like her at all.
2-2. And that's a swing and a miss for strike 3, a breaking ball. And 1 away. Take advantage of the Diamond Suite Flash Sale and lock in a summer outing today. Get significant savings on a 20-person suite, hats for the whole group, a scoreboard message, a complimentary dessert cart upgrade, and more. For more information, visit whitesox.com/flash sale today.
Don't forget to have the turtles. They're terrific.
You like the turtles?
Oh, yeah, I do. Really like them.
Here's Tim Anderson. And we will have a visitor from the Anderson family in the top of the 3rd. His wife, Bria, is here to chat about Sox Serve Week. Eileen Renteria as well, stopping by. And so we'll ask about both Sox Serve Week and for some dirt on their husbands.
Oh, they'll be more than happy to share that.
Nobody will know. It's just between us.
Keep it between us? That's good. I don't know if you know, it's the 10th annual Sox Serve Week.
It is.
Yep.
Oh, and 2 from Bauer. Slider well away. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Bauer curveball tonight has been magnificent. Concession stands also magnificent.
On the ground at 3rd, Jose Ramirez charges up a throw to 1st. Time now for our Rocket Mortgage breakdown and its strikeout leaders in the American League. Former UCLA teammates 2 and 4, and this is up to the moment in the AL.
Severino having a great year with the Yankees. Verlander an enchanted year with Houston, and Chris Sale won a ball game today.
On the ground past the mound, Ramirez snaps it up and pulls Alonso off the bag. Tilson beats it out.
That's a big part of Charlie's game. Put the ball on the ground, don't hit it in the air, and then beat the play at first base. He's got great speed. And when this one got over Bauer's head, it became a very difficult play for Ramirez. If Ramirez lets it go to Lindor, they have no shot at all. So he's got to cut it off. It's a big effort, just barely getting the ball off, and can't get it there in time as Alonso goes up. Tilson is in.
Boy, that's a whale of a play to even get there.
Yeah, he did a great job cutting across. And he's a normal shortstop. He's got great range, and he's got certainly a good enough arm. And he's been not only good at third base, but he's probably by far their best second baseman. Eventually, he will move there.
Engel lofts this ball to left field, and Michael Brantley through the aviary for out number 3. No score after 2. The Wives are in action for Sox Serve Week, and 2 of them will join us in the booth right after this. But you really want to meet Eileen Renteria and Bria Anderson. How are we?
Good.
Doing really well. Really
Great.
well.
Is this your first time watching the game from this view?
Yeah.
It is.
It's a nice view.
amazing.
Nice. So, Sox Serve Week, you have some mystery baseballs here. Tell us about what you all are doing for Sox Serve Week with the mystery balls.
Well, actually, what we're doing is we are selling off at $40, and hence the word mystery. We have had them signed and autographed by almost everybody and anybody, but nobody knows who's in the box.
Is that right?
Yes.
Did
Well,
you
can
even
tell us. You can tell us who's in the box. Come on.
No, that's the mystery.
That's the mystery.
That's
The mystery baseballs.
It is.
Now we get it.
It is.
Bria, what does Sox Serve Week mean to you? You've been here now for a couple of years, and I know you and Tim are doing the League of Leaders program. What does this week mean to you?
It's just a good opportunity to take a week to get out there in the community and give back to the place where we call home. We love the South Side, and we love giving back. So Sox Serve Week is perfect time to do that.
One down on the strikeout for Covey, and Lindor coming up. Eileen, you and Ricky are doing Club 17 as well as part of your giving back to the community. Tell us about that.
Well, it's actually something that we recently started up. It was last season, and a big part of that is also wanting to give to a group of youth in the community. We have different incentives for them to reach for, and at the end of the year, Rick and I will be hosting a special dinner with all the kids.
Is that right?
Yes.
How about that?
Yeah.
Very
really
nice.
exciting.
And Bria, the League of Leaders, if people haven't heard about it, we saw the trip with our own eyes to Kansas City that you guys put on. As this ball goes to second, and Moncada for out number 2. Tell everyone about the League of Leaders.
So League of Leaders is an organization that Tim and I founded actually 1 year ago today.
Wow.
It's an opportunity for us to work with some of the youth in Chicago who are affected by violence, and we go out and we sit in on like counseling and mentor circles. We give back, and as you mentioned, we hosted a group. We pair with youth guidance. And they came out and we toured the Negro League Museum. It was a good time, and some of those kids had never even been outside of Chicago, so it was a fun time.
I thought the museum was absolutely brilliant. I mean, there was so much to learn there, things that Jason and I, who have loved baseball our whole lives, just really didn't know, and it was fascinating. And also the expression on the face of those kids, getting a chance to see a lot of history about guys that came before, guys who never had a chance to play where Tim is playing right now, or Ricky played. And I thought it was brilliant. We're going to go back again because you can't possibly take it in one visit.
Yeah.
So I have a question that we opened the mailbag for questions for you guys, and Tim from Chicago asks a question.
Okay.
Yeah, Tim from Chicago wants to know, what's Tim Anderson like at home?
He is so funny. Literally, he just wants to joke all day. He wants to joke and play. He does pranks on me and our 2-year-old daughter,
Really?
Peyton. Yeah, he's such a goofball. He's a ball of fun.
Is that right?
Yeah.
That's what he was hoping you'd say.
Oh, right.
Is what he said. Eileen, what's Ricky like?
Well, you know what? I have to tell you, Jason.
You
I
got
don't
10 seconds. Dylan
get to
Covey's
see
too
Rick
fast.
too quick there. He actually leaves the ballpark so early. I see him just enough to have breakfast, and he enjoys his breakfast before he heads on out.
Ladies, thank you so much for stopping by.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Eileen
Thank you so
Renteria,
much, Steve.
Bria Anderson.
Thank you so much.
Wonderful job. Mystery Baseballs, WhiteSox.com/SoxServe. No score after 2.5 from Guaranteed Rate Field. We thank Eileen Renteria and Bria Anderson for stopping by.
Very nice, and they took the mystery baseballs back with them because they're going to sell them.
They are.
And the proceeds will go to White Sox charities.
It's kind of like the Sox Serve Week swap meet.
And a pretty good swap meet it is.
Trace Thompson gets the start, as Bauer misses with a curveball high.
This figured to be a pretty good pitching matchup, and it certainly have lived up to expectations, as both of these guys throwing it very well.
Thompson left field side, and foul. Great night to watch a baseball game.
This is as nice a night as we've had at the ballpark.
'77 says the Mercury. Why the sad face? Hope everything's okay.
Running low on the Fanta.
Probably going to go on the Fanta DL. 3 balls, 2 strikes to Trace Thompson, Moncada and Sanchez to follow. And Trevor Bauer has allowed 1 walk, 1 infield hit, and he struck out 3. Cleveland again is not in grave danger in the AL Central with a 5-game lead over Minnesota entering play today, but the Indians still have not run away with this, and the Sox have a lot of opportunity to stand in the way with the bulk of the games between these two still left to play this year. Ramirez for round number 1.
Well, Cleveland will run away with it if they get that bullpen squared around, and that is when Andrew Miller comes back. I think if he comes back with anything close to what he's had the last couple of years, then they run away and hide from either the Twins or the Tigers. But just 4 games up in the loss column at this point. But this is a solid team top to bottom, offensively and defensively. Starting pitching is good, but the pen has been problematic for them with a lot of ERAs in the 6s.
Moncada late choice on the swing, 0-1, and the Tigers were maybe not decimated, but damaged certainly with Miguel Cabrera out for the year.
Yeah, ruptured biceps tendon, and he's going to have surgery, and that's going to be it. He was never 100% this year, because when you look at the power numbers, he'd become almost a singles and doubles hitter. He had only 3 home runs. That's not the Cabrera that we've seen over the years. With the Tigers coming to town after the Indians, it's going to be a different look for them, and more pressure will fall to Nicholas Castellanos to get it done with Cabrera out of the lineup.
Foul territory, Perez has no play. Southpaw has no play.
Southpaw just trying to remain unhit.
I think Southpaw should interview Chuck Garfien. And Chuck should have to figure out what questions he's being asked by playing charades.
You want to do it?
Yeah, we do.
They want you to interview me, but you can't talk.
2 down.
You can hold the mic.
Okay.
This is a riveting interview so far.
No, I think you're doing great, Chuck.
You have to talk.
No comment. I can't talk about that here right now. That's private information. I'm going to walk. Are we going to go for a walk?
That's not a question. That's an invite.
Give me a journalistic question. Give me something that you would have learned in journalism school.
Southpaw Journalism School?
Okay. Yes. What do I see when I look out on the field?
Seagulls.
I see seagulls. Southpaw, what do you think about the seagulls? You like or don't like? Oh, you want to eat them? Yes.
No, you
they
can't.
Taste good.
Southpaw can't eat this. Tell him he can't eat the seagulls. It's not acceptable.
You're not allowed to eat the seagulls. No. How about the moths? I think the moths are here first, then the seagulls. Catch the moths. Get rid of the moths, Southpaw. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Chuck, I would submit that to the Emmy committee. Where are you?
I think, Southpaw, you and I just lost an Emmy. Yeah, we thought we were going to get an Emmy for this.
The only people to lose an Emmy, Southpaw and Chuck.
It's a special, honorable mention Emmy for me and you for this amazing moment of television. There it is. All right, back to baseball. What do you think?
Thanks, Chuck. It's a ball and 2 strikes on Sanchez. That was highly compelling.
That was riveting.
Oh, there's the post-game handshake.
Oh, that's sportsmanship.
You never know what you're going to see at the ballpark. That runs in for strike 3, and it is a 1-2-3 third inning. Call the Smithsonian. This is a keeper.
Paulicki. She's been a Sox fan for almost 63 years, and if you want to be the next authentic fan of the game, enter for your chance to win at NBCSportsChicago.com/White Sox AF.
Teresa has been a White Sox fan for 63 years.
She has that.
Huge fan of the Go-Go Sox from '59. Fondly remembers old Comiskey.
And has followed them through thick and thin, which is the definition of the authentic fan.
Abreu, Covey, complete for out number 1.
So the ground ball parade continues. Brantley was the only guy that looped a hit out of the infield. That dropped in front of Tilson in left field. Other than that, it's been strikeouts and ground balls. And the left-handers pounding the ball to the right side, which you would expect. 5 ground balls to the left side, and one that snuck through. That was off the bat of Ramirez in the first inning. That also hit to the right side.
One down, Encarnacion. It's called ball 1, no appeal. Dylan Covey is really fun to watch right now.
Everything moves. I mean, even when he gets the ball up, it has some movement to it.
In the air, right field. Thompson back at the warning track to make the catch. 2 down. Here's your Sox Math question for tonight. Hashtag Sox Math. First correct answer on Twitter wins a prize off the prize shelf. Homer is the Sox hit to open last night's game, multiplied by the jersey of the first player to homer, divided by the jersey of the second player to homer, plus the number of runs the Sox scored last night. Not a Victim was your winner yesterday, and we have some authentic fan swag in case you'd like to masquerade as the authentic fan, or possibly dress up as the authentic fan so authentically that you're chosen as the authentic fan next time. Spent a lot of time recently trying to come up with new Halloween costumes for people. You go as the authentic fan.
It's a noble pursuit.
Thank you. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, Dylan Covey, 10 straight batters retired.
Ramirez with his base hit in the first inning, and that's been it.
On the ground, Moncada can't cleanly field it. Alonso is safe.
We'll see how that scored as that ball on the grass got to Yohan, and it's a base hit.
Into center field, another hit. 2 straight. Cabrera is 1 for 2, and Jason Kipnis will bat here in the 4th.
Seven left-hand hitters in this lineup.
There's a strike to Kipnis.
Jason Kipnis has pretty good power to straightaway center field.
Couldn't pull the trigger. 0-2.
Had the same problem the first time up. He's not reading that fastball that's moving away from him, and nice time to throw in on the inside part, try to break it back over the inside part of the plate.
Got in on the fists. Sanchez, nicely done. Yolmer Sanchez has played a very good third base this homestand, and this year, no score. With our authentic fan.
All right, I'm here with our authentic fan, Teresa Paulicki. You've been a fan since 1955, and tell us about why the 1959 team meant so much to you.
Well, because I had just started becoming a fan and watching them, and they played with such gumption and everything, and just winning the pennant and the sirens that went off, and just remember all the players. I could tell you their numbers and positions, and they're just the guys I still remember. Vinny Minoso, Shermauer, Jim Landis, Aparicio, Nels, just all those guys.
And you had them all on a very special baseball. Can you explain?
Yes, I do. I have a baseball, and it's signed by almost all the players.
From 1959.
1959, from the team in 1959. And I have it in my house, and I just want to keep it. It's fading a little bit, but it's something I have. It's very valuable to me.
Teresa, it's an honor to meet you. Congratulations. You are a fan and a half, which makes you an authentic fan.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right. Jason, Steve, back to you.
Chuck, thank you. Great to see Chuck interviewing a human being this time, and a beautiful lady. I mean, she is Sox fan through and through, talking to her and her friend Jim before the game.
And what's kind of nice is that her daughter for years has been one of the flight attendants on our charter flight. She'll be happy to know that her mother did not offer that. I had to pry it out of her.
One down for Daniel Polka. Ripped foul first base side, and if you are a ball boy or girl on a Daniel Polka day, you're probably going to want to get a second glove.
That was a rocket. That was the hardest hit on a curveball, and unfortunately it went foul. Bauer's curveball tonight has been snapping and snapping late.
He's been totally in rhythm tonight, don't you think?
I think both pitchers have been just terrific.
2-1 on Polka, who is on the StatCast Mount Rushmore right now, and we call it Mount Crushmore. Average exit velocity leaders. Polka number 2, minimum 90 batted balls in baseball. Now you talk about a surprise, and a positive surprise in this season when you've had injuries to Avi Garcia and Nicky Delmonico in the outfield, among other injuries on the team. Daniel Polka has been a big boon.
Also, you really need somebody in this lineup to protect Jose Abreu. And for a right-hand pitcher pitching to Abreu, Polka behind him is something you have to factor in. Not that Jose is going to get great pitches, but he'll get better pitches if the guy behind him is doing well. So he's fouled off 2 good curveballs, something that right-handers have not been able to do tonight.
It's so funny. You have this one-on-one game between the pitcher and the hitter, and it eventually becomes a trickle-down team game. How you do affects the next guy and what kind of pitches he's going to see, even though it doesn't feel like it sometimes.
And that's why this is a team sport with the greatest confrontation we have, which is pitcher and hitter. You don't really find that type of confrontation in any other sport.
There's that fastball running toward the inside corner for strike 3, 2 down, and here's your Sox Math winner for tonight. Riles 23 got in there. 2 home runs to open the game. 10 is Moncada's jersey number. 20 divided by Yolmer's number, which is 5 plus 5. 4 plus 5 is 9. And Riles 23 was first. Congratulations, Riles, who, based on the Joe Tiller logo in his Twitter profile, I believe is a big Purdue Boilermakers fan. And he will be happy to know that Robbie Hummel is as good of a guy as you thought. Former Purdue Boilermaker, basketball player. One of the prizes that you don't always get in Sox Math is we start talking about you when you win, or things you like from your Twitter bio.
Can get a fanny pack tonight. That's on there.
Authentic fanny pack.
Yep.
Sox Serve Week t-shirt, rally cap, a gnome, Southpaw birthday bobblehead doll, which we can get Chuck Garfien to sign.
And the ever-present White Sox book.
It's
from
true.
90 to 99.
There's the Chuck picture, by the way.
Yikes.
Yeah. That ground ball will finish off the 4th. Pitcher's duel to the 5th. Nothing. And we go to AAA, where Jordan Stevens once again threw the ball well for Charlotte.
Lively fastball right there.
6 innings at Durham, the AAA Tampa Bay Rays. 3 hits, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts, and a .367 in a suddenly crowded Charlotte rotation. Michael Kopech, Carson Fulmer, Don Roach threw very well tonight.
You never have too many arms. It doesn't matter what level they are, but if the arms are good enough, they will find their way here before too long. White Sox have never been shy about bringing up pitchers. Sometimes people thought too early. Chris Sale, one of those guys.
Shattered bats everywhere tonight, and this one plunks in for a hit for Perez. Commemorate the White Sox up-and-coming stars and support White Sox charities at the same time. Enjoy your limited edition Next Sox shirt featuring Eloy, Michael, Luis, Alec, and Dylan for just $20. Purchase online at whitesox.com/SoxServe. Some of the names that you may hear about in the coming seasons, and that's the fun part, is that you could make a couple of shirts with the first names of guys that provide a stronghold of hope for the White Sox in the future.
There is a whole lot of hope, and some guys currently on the field will be here.
.1-0 from Covey to Greg Allen. In the air, right-hand side. Trace Thompson is underneath, and one's away.
Dylan has gotten a couple of pitches up this inning. Consequently, 2 balls hit in the air, but that doesn't usually happen.
Top of the order once again, Francisco Lindor, who's 0 for 2. And that's surprisingly so, considering he has been the most likely Indians player to hit the sinker hard this year. That's Covey's bread and butter this year, is the sinker. And a couple of ground ball outs for Lindor, who came into this game with a .933 slugging percentage against the sinker this year.
Right-handed, he's much better than left-handed. Right-handed hitting .370 coming in as opposed to .257. That's lower with the 0 for 2, and he's grounded out twice.
To first, Abreu taps the bat, spins it to second, and good night, 5th inning for Cleveland. Neatly done by Abreu to gun it to second after stopping the bag of the double play. Closes the deal for the Tribe. Another Covey ground ball, and bottom 5 comes next. Layla, thank you very much. We have no runs on the board, Sox and Indians. And in fact, just 6 hits combined. The Sox with a Charlie Tilson infield single, the only hit for the home team so far tonight. So it's Anderson, Tilson, and Engel against Trevor Bauer. And here's a guy who has bought in early. He's the son of an engineer. Bought in early to the physics of baseball and the biomechanics of baseball and everything that goes along with the science in this game.
Well, he's an unusual pitcher, and we will show you a little bit later what he does when he comes out. I've never seen another pitcher do it, but he uses that, I am sure, to get his arm loose between innings, because when you're sitting around, you've got to get the blood flow back where it needs to be, and certainly worked well for him because his ERA is right now close to 2.5. over 500 and 17 wins last year, so he's getting better as he gets a touch older.
Dropped down a bit there.
And take a look when he comes out. This is what he does. He takes a couple of fake throws to center field to loosen up the arm, and then runs across the mound to throw to Gomes. Then he settles in and takes his normal warm-up pitches like most pitchers do, except they don't do that.
You know, the interesting thing is you watch that and you say, well, that's weird and that's bizarre and that's all that. In order to be pioneering in any field, you have to try things that people haven't seen before.
Well, first of all, look, it works for him, and it doesn't really matter what you do as long as it works for you. And so you win 17 a year, you can stand on your head and throw nickels over your shoulder, and they'll think it's just fine.
Is that by experience? Have you done that?
If I'd known that was going to work, I would have done it early, but no. I was more conventional, although I did have
quarters.
Different things. Nope, just distance running.
Ball 4, he missed on Anderson, so Tim takes a walk. That's number 21 of his season. And 1 on, nobody out for Tilson. As we remind you that for a limited time, get 2 outfield reserve seats for just $20.18 with the Dads and Grads flash sale. This ticket package is the perfect gift for Father's Day or the recent grad in your life. Visit whitesox.com/dadgrad to buy your tickets before time runs out. Distance running?
Yes.
How so?
Well, I'll explain to you, but I want to talk about Perez for a second because this is a situation to run for Anderson.
Tim creeps off the bag, doesn't go now.
And I do believe that this is a combination you can run against, although Perez has a very strong and accurate arm. You're not going to get too many hits in the same inning against Trevor Bauer. He just is too good at this point of the season. So Tim has swiped 13 bags, been caught once, and I'll tell you about my philosophy of distance running, and there was a couple things that went into it because for the most part teams don't have their pitchers run distance.
Anderson goes. That's a strike, and the throw sails to Lombard. Anderson to third.
Stolen base E2, that's stolen base number 14, and the running game is available with this combination. Throw is well wide on the third base side and no chance at all for Lindor, so Tim picks it up quickly and scampers into third.
Number 14 for Tim Anderson, and now runner at third, nobody out in a scoreless game. Charlie to right field. Fair ball down the line. Let's see those wheels. 22. Tilson on his way to third. He is there, sliding in, and a 1-0 Sox lead.
Charlie drives in his third of the year, and that one hugging the line all the way. So the stolen base pays dividends as Charlie runs it into a 3-base hit. He got a changeup down and away and took it just fair. Ball caroms off the sidewall and goes all the way to the wall, and Charlie Tilson is off to the races. He had to play in front of him. Nick Camper saying, "Get down."
First career triple for Charlie Tilson. Infield in for the Indians. Engel takes ball 1.
This is a situation where you might want to use that safety squeeze. Even though they're in at the corners, on a safety squeeze, if you lay down a decent bunt with the speed of Tilson, you're going to score an all-important insurance run. It's early enough. The Indians are strong enough offensively where you have to score that run from third base somehow.
Adam goes after a breaking ball, 1-1. Engel and Thompson, the 8-9 hitters, then Moncada.
Alonso in at first.
Good hook.
Was that? Curveball's been good all night. Leadoff walks to a speedster are going to do you in, and that's exactly what happened. Second walk of the night. Trevor Bauer's had good control, but he lost Tim Anderson. That's not a good thing because of his base running skills.
Check swing. He did go. Strike 3.
That slider in the strike zone briefly and then disappears.
One out, infield still in. Trace Thompson, the batter. Very good speed at third with Charlie Tilson. High heat, strike 1.
Perez gave him a sign for a fastball, then put the glove upstairs, and Bauer threw it right there. This becomes a huge run. Going to be a hook, maybe in the dirt.
It was.
Nice job of smothering the ball by Perez, who's technically a very good catcher.
Gomes is the guy that really neutralizes the running game.
Yeah, he throws very well.
Ball and a strike on Thompson. Here comes Tilson. Bunt laid down. Sox get the run. 2 down, 2 in. Nice bunt, Trace Thompson.
Safety squeeze because Tilson wasn't running. Then you wait and see if the bunt is down. In good shape. It was. No chance for Perez to do anything but throw to first base. RBI number 8. A huge second run. Good effort as Charlie Tilson scores easily, leaving Perez with only 1 play. Good timing on the part of Tilson.
Sox get a pair, and you said it, that is a much needed second run, especially with Brantley, Ramirez, and Encarnacion coming up.
And Dylan Covey throwing as well as he's thrown.
And Moncada hits the ball in the air on the right-hand side. Melky Cabrera for out number 3, but the Sox grab 2. The big hit, a Charlie Tilson triple. low as $49. Our family 4-pack includes 4 tickets, 4 hot dogs, 4 chips, 4 sodas, upper level and lower level packages available. Check out all the available dates at whitesox.com/4packs today. No pinwheel activity, but a 2-0 Sox lead thanks to Charlie Tilson and Trace Thompson.
A lot of speed in that man, and well timed on coming to the plate on the bunt.
Covey pings it high in the air. Anderson can't get it out of his glove, and that was a mission that was scrubbed very quickly.
Well, you can't talk a pitcher out of his reflexes, and that's what happens when you reach up. But Tim Anderson still would be able to make the play, except that right here, the bobble, and that's all it took. And Brantley with a leadoff single.
Second straight inning the leadoff man's been on for Cleveland. Now Ramirez takes a strike. Five-game hit streak right now for Ramirez, including the first inning single tonight. This Cleveland team, as it's currently constituted, with the 3rd best slugging percentage in baseball, 2-0 doesn't feel exactly secure, even though Dylan Covey's pitching very well again tonight.
If you can get that ground ball to the right side, you can turn a pair.
It's a line drive to the right side, a base hit. Second time in the game, Brantley and Ramirez have gone back-to-back with singles, and Encarnacion the batter.
That one stayed up, and Ramirez took advantage of it. He's hitting the ball too well these days to make a mistake like that and get away with it. Now you have your double play target, who just missed one last time. I think he thought he got enough of it, but he chased Thompson all the way back to the wall. He had a couple of steps to spare. You got to keep it down and get the ground ball here.
This is on the ground but foul. It was on a 1-0 pitch that he had that long fly ball his second time up. In fact, twice now he's put the second pitch of the sequence in play. Brantley at second, Ramirez at first.
Very good speed on the bases for the Indians.
Ball stayed low, and Encarnacion chops it foul, 1-2. Two-thirds of the pitches tonight for Dylan Covey, as has been the norm, have been fastballs.
As long as you have a good sinker and that falls into the fastball category, you're going to throw it a lot. And he's got a good sinker.
One and two for Encarnacion. In the air, right field side. Trace Thompson is underneath. Brantley tags from second and gets to third. Runners at the corners, one down for Yonder Alonso.
Alonso's only grounded into 3 double plays this year, largely because he's got an uppercut swing of a home run hitter. So he doesn't hit too many on the ground.
Takes ball number 1. Yonder Alonso, the last 3 years, has been with 3 teams. In 2015, a 4th team, San Diego, after 2 to start his career after being a first-round pick of Cincinnati.
7th pick in the draft. His career was stalled. He had a broken hamate bone. He had surgery on that, and that set him back a bit. Now they're going to talk with Covey, with Abreu coming in, Smith going out, and everybody meeting at the mound.
Sox took the lead in the bottom of the 5th. Charlie Tilson, an RBI triple. Trace Thompson, a bunt to get Tilson home. And now Covey behind 2-0 on Yonder Alonso. The line right now is Sterling.
Scattered a few hits, but he's made the big pitch when he's had to, and he's going to have to make a big pitch here.
What is your best choice on 2-0?
If you're a sinker baller, go with the sinker. Maybe you can get him anxiously to roll over it and ground it to the right side.
In the air and foul, 2-1. Brantley at 3rd, Ramirez at 1st. High in the air. Ramirez was all the way to second base, and this ball stayed up in the air too long for a double play, but the Sox will take the out. 2 gone. And Melky Cabrera coming up.
That was a good time to run for Ramirez, and he would have made it easily. But Alonso skied at the first base, giving him a chance to scamper back from second.
Brantley over at 3rd, having a conversation with Mike Sarbaugh. Jose Ramirez back to 1st. Covey to Melky. Upstairs. Mike Sarbaugh doing his due diligence in the 3rd base coaching box.
He sees Ramirez take off, and then he's screaming. That's why you need a megaphone if you're going to coach 3rd. But Ramirez didn't pick it up right away. Then he heard about it.
Mike Sarbaugh, former manager in this Indian system for a long time. One and 0 will have to wait. Another throw to 1st. So Covey's now wise to the game of Ramirez. We showed him his cards on the pop-up.
Eight out of 10 in the stolen base department.
Center field. Angle back. Adam to the track. He is there. He runs into the S&T and Wintrust. And you have to have trust in Adam Engel. 2-0. Xfinity X1 customers say, show me the Chicago White Sox. Into your X1 voice remote and get live team stats on your TV. Change the way you experience TV with Xfinity X1. When they say cute as a button, that's what they mean.
First game, but could very well grow into the authentic fan.
Are you scouting authentic fans
You
now?
never know. Sure. You got to look for early talent. That's the only way to get the best talent available, is recognize them early.
Authentic fan bird dog scout Steve Stone.
But Dylan Covey's done just a great job of extricating himself from some very difficult situations. Gave up back-to-back hits in the first, back-to-back hits in the fourth, back-to-back hits in the sixth, and got out of each and every one. Nice job by Dylan Covey. He doesn't have near as good a stuff tonight as he had against the Red Sox, but it's been good enough because this Indians team is a very good offensive club with a lot of speed to go with their power.
Tight breaking ball in the dirt, and Perez floats it to first.
So let's get back to what you were talking about, the running distances. What I felt, Jason, was that.
Let's do that.
What I felt was, number one, there's times when you run distances where you want to quit because you're sore. You get pains in your side, or sometimes your leg hurts, your knee hurts. You have decided then to run through it. And that helped me when I got late in games, when, you know, something hurt you or you felt fatigued, and you go back to when you were running and realize you didn't allow your body to dictate when you were going to stop. You decided to stop when you wanted to stop, and telling your body that you can run through, or in a cage pitch through, a situation where you wouldn't normally do it. So I thought that was a big factor. And there was also something else, and that was, if you take a look at the size of the muscles in your leg, the quadriceps, the hamstrings, and the glutes, they're much bigger than the upper body muscles. And so I felt if you pitch with your legs, if your legs could take you 6, your arms should be able to take you 3. And so I got my legs in phenomenal shape from running 6 miles in the morning, 6 at night, and then I had to run with the team at the ballpark, so I was running quite a bit.
Every day?
Every day. But it allowed me then to pitch through a lot of situations where early in my career I couldn't do it. And for me, it was psychological as well as anything else.
Jose Abreu double alert. And he is on his way to second with a 1-out, 2-base hit. That's number 26 for this season.
That's a little slider, and Jose goes down and gets it. He's got such good coverage away that he's able to stay right with this, not pulling off the ball too quickly and drive it into left field. If you open up too quickly on that slider, you're either not going to make contact, you're going to hit a soft ground ball to the left side, and Jose has been a doubles machine all of this year.
For more on Jose, downstairs, Chuck.
Yeah, if you want to know about the dedication of Jose Abreu, 2 nights ago, game's over. The media goes into the clubhouse. Players are leaving the clubhouse to go home. I then go from the clubhouse back onto the field, and I walk by the batting cages. There's no one else around. There's no one there except for one person. Jose Abreu was in the cage working on his hitting after most of the players had already gone home. This was about 45 minutes after the game 2 nights ago.
And this is for a guy who's as consistent as anybody in baseball, who knows his swing as well as anybody in baseball, and goes in the cage and takes care of business.
Well, I think if he's had a tough night, or he's had a night where a couple of the at-bats he's not happy with, he'll go and try to fix it right away so it doesn't linger with him. That shows you the dedication. We've known that since he came to this team. He's just a professional baseball player in every sense of the word, carrying himself on the field and off the field the same way.
And he went 0 for 4 that night. He was in the cages that night.
It's not surprising, Chuck, because of his dedication.
And that double, by the way, was his first hit this year against Cleveland. They had pitched him as well as anybody in Major League Baseball so far in 2018.
That's a long time for him to go 4.5 games without a base hit against any staff, and I don't care how good the staff is, because he seems to get up for the best pitchers in the game. He loves that confrontation. There's other guys who make their living against some other type of pitchers, like the 4 or 5.
Daniel Polka on the lam, and he is now out, 2 down.
And there are a lot of hitters, let me clarify that, a lot of hitters who will take advantage of the first and second men out of the bullpen. They won't hit the closers or the supreme setup men. They're not going to hit the 1 and 2 starters. They hit the 3, 4, and 5 starters. Jose is not that kind of guy. He gets up for the better pitchers, whether it's the closer, the lockdown closer setup man combination, or the 1 and 2 starters of the opposite team. He loves to face those guys.
There are some guys who are very good at doubles down 6-0.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. Guys make a handsome living at that.
Bauer feeds in a strike to Kevin Smith.
Another big run out there, and Kevin likes to use right and right center field. Works well with Bauer. He doesn't go inside with the fastball very much. If you go middle of the plate out with him, you gear up for the fastball, you adjust down to whatever he throws off speed, and you've got a chance against him.
All varying types of breaking balls from Bauer.
And you were looking in at that shot. It's a center field camera, and you're looking at Perez, and Perez does not set up early. The reason why he stays in the middle of the plate a little bit longer than most catchers is that with a runner at second base, it's really easy to give location. You're not going to be able to read the signs, but you can give location, and that's a big advantage for the hitter. So if he stays in the middle where he is right now and sets up late, Abreu cannot read the location.
How many guys are doing that?
There's a few. There's a few that do it, and especially with a man at second base, whether you're home or on the road. And again, the tip-off will be sometimes the hitter will look out at the base runner at second. He'll look one way or the other. If he looks toward third, the pitch is away. If he looks toward second base, the pitch will be in. And again, if it's an inside pitch, right-hand pitcher to right-hand hitter, more times than not, it's going to be a fastball. If it's outside, you can't really read the pitch because you never know, but you can read the location.
Spiked 2-2.
That was a nice stop by Perez as he moved to his right quickly. Pitch
44% of Kevin Smith's career RBIs have come with 2 outs.
How about that?
Well, a key situation for him.
Got a chance to push that up here. 2-2. Abreu at second. 2 out. Bauer and Smith. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Tim Anderson, who walked, stole a base, and scored in the 5th, is next. 3-2. Line to right field, a base hit. Abreu waved around. Cabrera's throw to the plate is not in time. Abreu got underneath on a springy bounce from Melky, and it's 3-0 Sox.
Big hit by Kevin Smith. That's his 3rd run driven in, and Jose Abreu hustling around third base. Looked like the ball hit the grass, and normally when it hits the grass, it's going to bounce a whole lot higher. As Bauer gets a high fastball out away from Kevin, dumps it into right field. Melky makes a pretty good throw here. But we'll watch Perez. He has to move back to corral the long hop. This is not the short hop, it's a long hop, and as he moved back, it exposed the front of the plate. Jose was able to get the leg in before the tag. You see him move back. That's all it took. He didn't corral it right away, and that front foot in before the tag. A good call by Scott Berry.
Nick Capra pressing on the Sox former teammate Melky Cabrera. And a hook for a strike to Tim Anderson. Yolmer is always having fun.
He's telling him it was a changeup. That's easy to hit, but it wasn't. It was a high fastball.
He might be giving Melky the business.
Could very well be. He's talking to him about that high hop.
Is number 53. I think he is.
Actually, a good throw by Melky. Telling him, don't talk to me now. I got business.
Yolmer's wit is lethal from hundreds of feet away. He says, quit it. I'm doing work. You know, Melky's got the option to just ignore him, right?
No, that's not an option for Melky, and it's hard to ignore Yolmer.
One, two. Swing and a miss. Strike three. But a 2-out hit for Kevin Smith. Forced Melky Cabrera into a throw. And that may not have been the worst of it for the former Sox player, because Yolmer is putting the hex on him. And Melky says, stop it.
And bring the fun home.
And some more great photos from our White Sox Authentic fans. Thanks for sharing. We'll see you for our next Authentic Fan Night, June 27th. Sox Fan Club, 37 of 38 opening days. A UNC office and the Sox decor inside of it. So how about that? Authentic fans everywhere across the country. Dylan Covey to Jason Kipnis. 1 ball and 1 strike. This is the definition of scattering hits, isn't it?
If you don't give up too many runs, they say you scattered hits. If you gave up 4 runs on those 7 hits, you bunched the hits.
On the ground, past Moncada. It's a leadoff single. You know, you see all of the birds around the ballpark, and we've talked about maybe the bugs are the reason for it. I asked our rules expert, Rich Marazzi, because I've gotten a couple tweets from people about the rules regarding birds and if they're in play or not.
Yeah, it's a foul ball.
No, this. Oof. We want the birds all to be safe, certainly, but
Absolutely.
if by happenstance one of the birds is hit by a batted ball, the ball remains in play.
Yes, it's just an act of God clause.
That's right.
Tough on the bird, though.
That's true. But beyond that, if a fielder catches a fly ball that has struck a bird, the ball remains in flight and the fielder can make a legal catch.
Ball's in play.
Yeah, in play. And if a pitch strikes a bird, the ball does not count. Ground ball, third base side. Yolmer slings it to first for out number 1. So if you're at a game where birds are involved, now you can share with your friends exactly what the rules are regarding the baseball and the bird and you.
There you go.
You feel enriched?
Very much so. That is the beautiful city of Chicago at dusk.
Can't beat it.
Great city.
To first base, Abreu spins it to third. He got him! Oh, a rifle across the diamond. What a brilliant play.
That's as good a play as you're going to see, and as much of a heads-up play as there is by a first baseman. It was outstanding. Preserves the 3-0 lead. Jose Abreu seemingly had this in mind, and he guns down Kipnis. What a play. You're not going to see the like anytime soon.
One of the best defensive plays you're going to see all season from Jose Abreu. And that leaves the Indians off the board at 3-0. Tilson, Engel, and Thompson coming up. And Charlie takes a strike.
We've told you all along that there are very few first basemen throwing more accurately or better than Jose Abreu, but he really picked it up a notch. Cutting down Kipnis at third base on a play you very rarely if ever see.
Kipnis for out number 1. Here it is.
Let's take a look at the high-speed action powered by Xfinity, and Yolmer getting back to the bag is wonderful, but that throw is outstanding. They cut down a very speedy Jason Kipnis, and he was hustling on the play, but with just one step and a solid throw across the diamond, good coordination between Yolmer and Jose. He tags him easily on the side and will isolate on Kipnis. Now he's busting it to third base, and they still get it. I think he expected a few things on that play, but not having the ball to the bag before he got there.
You could see it on his face.
Yeah, I think he was shocked that the ball was waiting for him to arrive. And yet another double play. Jose made one earlier. What a heads-up play that was, and what a great throw.
Foul ball wide at third.
Yeah, I was talking with Rick Renteria in the offseason about Abreu's defense, and he said that he had a conversation with Jose Abreu during last season when he basically went up to Jose and said, do you want to be a DH or a first baseman for the rest of your career? And Jose was kind of puzzled by this, and what Renteria was saying is you have to improve defensively, and one of the biggest weaknesses he had was instead of anticipating baseballs, he was reacting to them. He had to be aware every single time there was a pitch that the ball might come to him and know what to do with it. And I don't know if he was anticipating a throw to third base there, but that's just another example of how he has improved his defense. And Renteria said he has played Gold Glove caliber defense ever since he and Joe McEwing worked on his defense towards the end of last year. He has improved a lot defensively. Would you guys agree?
I would think, Chuck, that is the biggest aspect of his game as far as improvement, because as a hitter, he was a great hitter when he stepped in the box for the first time in the major league. But I think Ricky was right. He knows that Jose was going to give him that answer, and he knows that he was going to work at it, because Jose has said over and over he wants to play in the field because he feels more a part of it. And he always said, Chuck, that he felt he could help the team in the field, not just as a designated hitter. And to do that, Ricky went at him in the way that you have to with a prideful man. That is, going at him and challenging him, because Jose does not want to be a DH, never did. And so he picked it up, and now he is outstanding down there. And throwing wise, he throws it as well as anybody around.
And right-handers were hitting a lot of balls to the right side, and he wasn't ready for some of them. And that's another thing where he's improved. Another area where he has improved is when right-handers hit it hard his way, he's shown better range getting to those balls.
Well, and on a play like we just saw, in order to make that play at third, it can't be any thought. It has to be building blocks to make it instinct.
Yeah, also, if you're not anticipating that, and I think you hit it, Chuck, when you said anticipate the ball, because he anticipated the fact that the ball would get to him. He was on the line anyway. With one step and a throw, he got him out of the inning. I mean, that was outstanding.
That's called strike three. Bauer gets a fortunate call and a 1-2-3 inning. We will go to the 8th and take you around Major League Baseball after this. You want good throws and good plays? We got good plays. Good offense. Haniger and Trout. They were outdoing each other offensively and then defensively as well. A couple of bombs for each of them, Trout and Haniger. And then Mike Trout says, we're going to take that away from you. And they made so many great plays, we can't even show you all of them. Haniger made a tremendous throw from the right field corner.
Mike Trout can really go get him up over the wall.
And he's one of those guys that when he came up to the majors, he wasn't exactly the perfect version of him right now. Rick Hahn has talked about Mike Trout is one of those guys that gives you hope as somebody who showed improvement after some time as Lindor singles. We got to show you these defensive plays. You really need to see them. All right, Trout, center field. You said he was so good at this.
He is good at that.
How about Mitch Haniger in the corner from deep? Segura, backhand. How about that?
Pretty good combination there. And here comes Don Cooper. Wants to have a word with Dylan Covey. Wants to find out just what he's got left. Last 4 innings, he's given up a leadoff base hit and gotten out of it. But as the pitches pile up, and he's got 83 of them, it gets a little more difficult.
Hey, Sox fans, join us as the White Sox take on the A's Saturday, June 23rd, 1:10 p.m. First 20,000 fans get a White Sox cap presented by CIBC, banking that fits your life. Purchase your tickets today. Well, I jump your tags all the time, so I deserve it. WhiteSox.com, 866 Sox game. Yes, sir.
Well, I wait for you to put the tag on and then talk about the handsome hat. That is a good-looking hat. Not as good-looking as that hat.
Oh, that's a great hat.
And look, he's going for the protein. He doesn't want the carbs. You can understand that. He's going to be a young athlete, and so just get the protein, son. Good idea.
Little Joey Chestnut.
And no ketchup on that.
Of course
like
not.
My partner.
That is not unbelievable.
That's not unbelievable? Look at that smile.
Aww.
He'd never put ketchup on that.
Mickey would be proud of that smile. The grounded foul, 1-1 to Brantley.
That was into the dugout, and that sent a few scrambling in the dugout. Scrambling to get ready. Rondon and Jace Fry.
One and one. Wide of first, foul toward the camera. Well, 1-2. What do you think of Dylan Covey tonight?
Well, he doesn't have the stuff that he had last time out, which shows you just how far he's come as a pitcher, because last year, a couple of years ago, he wouldn't have survived this outing with this stuff. But he's given up all singles. And to this point, he's held them right there, and he's gotten Ricky Renteria and Don Cooper exactly where they want to get into the 8th inning with just 6 outs to cover.
Runners off. Pitch grounded up the middle. Lindor trucking to third. Throw behind is not in time. Didn't really have a chance at Frankie Lindor, so Brantley gets an extra base.
That's a really bad throw. Just a bad thought process. Because Lindor's got great speed, and you got to keep the man off second base. You keep the double play in order, and I think Trace Thompson knows exactly that he just made a bad play. If you throw through with no chance to get him at all and you don't, then you let the trailer take second base. You're out of the double play situation. That's going to be it for Dylan Covey. He's going to leave with 2 on, nobody out. And they're going to turn it over to the pen.
Another dynamic performance from Dylan Covey. He gets the Sox into the 8th. What a great first game to watch. Standing ovation for Covey. 3-0 Sox when we come back. exclusively online. Make sure your favorite White Sox are represented on this year's squad by voting at whitesox.com/vote. Catch all the excitement of the 89th MLB All-Star Game presented by MasterCard July 17th live on Fox. Jace Fry is in.
Infield back, they're going to concede the run to try to stay out of the big inning as Ricky Renteria turns around Ramirez.
Ground ball to third. That is a positive start. Yolmer uncorks out number 1.
This is how smart Yolmer is as a player, because not only did he look back and freeze Lindor, but then, just in case Lindor was thinking about going, he hesitated just an eyelash. Now watch Yolmer. He looks back at him, but then he waits to throw to first base, leaving no chance for Lindor to even think about scoring. Right there. Hesitation, go to first, good play.
One down, Encarnacion, who has not hit lefties this well this year at 193. Yonder Alonso, though, on deck is a left-hander as well, so you don't really have to give in to Encarnacion. Into left, base hit. Lindor scores. Brantley to third. It's 3-1.
RBI number 41 for Encarnacion. This looked like a changeup up in the zone. He took advantage of it by driving it through the left side. So he represents a tying run at third base.
Yonder Alonso, who popped out last time with 2 on and 1 out in the 6th. And it looks like they're going to pinch run for Encarnacion. Rajay Davis is in as the tying run, as you said. A very important tally for Cleveland. A wafting breaking ball for strike 1. Davis thought about going, but slammed on the brakes past first.
That was a really good stop by Kevin Smith. And that could turn out to be a big play, because still the double play in order with Alonso on the tail end of it. He can't run very well. And this stop right here keeps the runners right where they are and keeps the double play in order.
Davis had 43 steals in that World Series year, and he gets checked by Fry.
He's 11 out of 14 this year, so despite advancing age, he's still pretty fast. And he's got a huge lead at first.
There he goes. Fair ball down the first base line. Davis was running, and he gets a stop sign at third. So 3-2. Davis wanted to try and score. Alonso drives in Brantley in a 1-run game.
RBI number 37 as Alonso goes down the line. And Don Cooper now to talk with Jace Fry. This is a hanging curveball. And Jose comes off the line just a little too far, and he hits it behind him.
So the young left-hander Jace Fry, who's dealt with 2 Tommy John surgeries already in his career, has 2 runners on with 1 out, and Eric Gonzalez pinch runs for Yonder Alonso as the possible lead run.
Close the book on Dylan Covey at 7+ innings, a couple of runs on 10 hits, no walks, 5 strikeouts. And the infield in at all 4 positions for Melky. .93 for strike 1.
in the air and foul. 0-2.
Here's where that big curveball in the dirt would come in handy, but that's a tying run 90 feet away, and if Kevin calls for it, he's got to smother it.
Davis at third, Gonzalez at second, both pinch runners. And time called for the moment. 4 hits in the inning for Cleveland. Oh-2 on the ground and foul. Davis was going on contact there.
With his speed, you would assume, especially with the lefty-lefty coming up in Kipnis, that he would be going on contact.
There's a swing and a miss for strike 3. Melky goes down hunting against Fry, and 2 away.
This ball is up. Might have caught the top part of the strike zone. Kevin Smith wants it up there, and that's exactly where Jace Fry threw it. That takes away the sacrifice fly, now allows the infield to move back to the normal depth for the local boy, Jason Kipnis, out of Northbrook.
Just 2 for his last 19 as he stands in and gets shaken down by Fry.
Remember, you have left-handed Lonnie Chisenhall in case Ricky Renteria would go to a right-hander if Kipnis got on. The first 2 fastballs almost hit him.
Perez, the right-handed catcher, is on deck, and you wonder if he might get pulled as Fry pumps in a strike. Yan Gomes is the better hitting catcher of the 2. Two and 2. One-run game in the 8th. 2 down. Fry. Got him! Jace Fry cuts down a pair, and the Sox hang on to the lead. make a change, but it's not Trevor Bauer coming off the mound. Eric Gonzalez is in at first, a straight switch for Yonder Alonso. And Bauer, who's thrown 109 times, his maximum this year being 127 in that showdown with Garrett Cole, his former college teammate, and the Houston Astros. So he still has a little bit left in the tank, he's told Terry Francona and Carl Willis. And he throws ball one.
Yohan's just looking for a fastball, preferably middle in. That was a cutter, and that wasn't middle in. That was in on his thumbs.
A hook grounded toward first and foul, and Darrell Boston
makes a good play. Offers it to Gonzalez and then tosses it away. Cleveland pen up and going. Dan Otero.
Haven't seen him yet in this series. Check swing. No. Darrell Boston, by the way, is getting a heavy workout right now. He is out before batting practice basically every day working on outfield with Daniel Palka, Charlie Tilson, Trace Thompson, Adam Engel, the Sox outfielders. Debo with a heavy workload right now.
It's nice to see those guys want to go out and just get better. And Darrell doing the honors, hitting him fungos, chasing him side to side, back to front, and occasionally fielding a foul ball.
McConnell center field. One away. Fans experience Levy Restaurant's fine dining while enjoying a breathtaking view of Guaranteed Rate Field from the Huntington Bank Stadium Club. Memberships are available to season ticket holders, and they're also perfect for non-game day events, including weddings and corporate parties. For more info, call 312-674-1000. Yolmer looks at a strike.
No drop in the velocity for Trevor Bauer. He's still throwing 95. 116 pitches in.
He's actually faster than his first fastball of the night. Oh, 2. He struck him out, and the throw to first completes the out. 2 down. Cleveland in the ninth is scheduled to have Perez, Allen, and Lindor. Again, they have Lonnie Chisenhall and Yan Gomes on the bench, and now Terry Francona is not going to let Trevor Bauer go a full 8 tonight.
118 pitches and Jose Abreu up. Jose can change the manager's strategy as Dan Otero is going to come in. So as he walks in, we'll step out and we'll be back. Authentic Fan Night at Guaranteed Rate Field. Watch the Sox take on the Twins. Visit the Authentic Fan booth located outside sections 157 and 158. And while you're there, grab a free t-shirt while supplies last. Time now for a Lakeside Bank call to the pen. Lakeside Bank, it's about time. And it's about time Dan Otero got in here. First appearance of the series, on for the 23rd time. His ERA, 6.65. A lot of pensmen for the Tribe have ERAs in excess of 6.
Dan Otero, who grew up in Florida, facing Cuban-born Jose Abreu, but Otero actually does have Cuban roots. His grandmother was a math and physics teacher in Havana. Dan was, as we said, born in Miami, but with Cuban genealogy. And he has handled Abreu pretty well, 2 for 15.
That's the reason why he's in, because the last thing Terry Francona needs is one long ball to extend this lead. Trevor Bauer at 7 2/3 with 3 runs on just 4 hits. He walked only 2 while fanning 12. Pretty impressive night. Bob Rosenberg just figuring out it was 12.
On the ground, second base, Kipnis for out number 3. Sox will face the 8, 9, and 1 hitters with a 1-run game and Joakim Soria heading to the mound.
Inning, and Perez is going to hit, and Soria is going to pitch on for the 27th time. 9 of 11 in save opportunities. Here's another one with no margin for error.
Perez 1 for 3 career against Joakim Soria. The 2 outs have been strikeouts. The hit was a home run.
He's always been very dangerous. The batting average has never been all that high, but he's come up with some big hits against the Sox, and as you can see, struggling this year. But again, he's got a hit tonight, sandwiched in between a couple of ground balls.
Indecisive for strike 2. Terry Francona does have some tokens in reserve. He has Lonnie Chisenhall, the left-hander, on the bench, and Yan Gomes, the reserve catcher, the right-hander, available too. Two strikes from Soria. He got him softly on the inside corner to silence Perez. One down.
That was a changeup, and Perez could not pull the trigger. It was a good pitch. And after 2 high fastballs, the changeup on the inside corner just freezes him. That one had the whole corner. It baffled Perez.
And so it will be Lonnie Chisenhall to pinch hit for Greg Allen. Lonnie Chisenhall in the opener of this series was 3 for 4, including an RBI single in the 4th inning that night.
He has yet to pinch hit this year, with 44 at-bats overall, being disabled a good portion of the year. And that lively fastball up, he throws it right by him. That's a good place to stay on Chisenhall. You throw it there, he will not do you any damage. A lot of tension around the ballpark as a skinny 1-run lead late.
90 got it by him. 0-2.
He cut that fastball. You don't have to go anything fancy. You can just go Powder River upstairs and throw it by him.
Oh, 2. He laid off.
A little too far upstairs.
Two outs to get. And Kevin Smith for a chat.
Well, this is what happens many times when a pitcher and catcher cannot agree on either location or the type of pitch. So because you've got a couple of trips to the mound left, there's no reason to leave anything to chance. Go out there, ask the pitcher what he wants, go back. You don't have to give him any signs. You just say, okay, let me see it.
One, 2. And the dirt. Wasn't exactly how they planned, unless that was a setup pitch.
No, that's a very pensive Jack Ruby. The fact that he's still here and awake is something to the testament to the excitement of this game.
On the edge, 2-2. Left side base hit. Charlie gets there on the backhand. The Indians dugout loves the 1-out single for Lonnie Chisenhall.
That one wasn't quite as high as Joaquin would have wanted it. And Chisenhall was able to take it into left field. Take a look at the location. That ball is below the belt and not at all what he wanted.
Lindor 3 for 5 against Soria. And a breaking ball starts him off. 24-year-old dynamo Francisco Lindor and the veteran Joaquin Soria. Chisenhall the tying run at first. In the air, left center field. Nobody's going to get there. A parachute from Lindor. 2 on, 1 out for Brantley.
Doesn't hit it hard, and Tim giving it a good effort, just can't get to it. It drops over his head in front of Tilson, and the Indians in business.
Michael Brantley has 3 hits tonight.
That's 6 times the Indians have had back-to-back hits in this game, and it's remarkable they only have 2 runs at this point, despite 14 hits.
Clipped foul, strike 1.
That time Soria just leaned back and got all he can get. That was 94 upstairs. Now Brantley, unlike Lindor, can ground into a double play. Brantley has grounded into 6 of them this year.
Something hard and on the ground and at somebody would be ideal. Oh, 1 is inside. It's been nearly a month for Joakim Soria when he has been virtually unhittable. Trying to lock down this victory for the Sox. Brantley in the way. Ball and a strike. On the ground, Moncada to the bag, to first. Sox win!
Three double plays tonight, none more important than the third as Yoan Moncada decided to take it himself. He knew he might have had an extra step with Brantley going up the line. He grounds into his 7th double play of the year. And the Sox dodge 14 Indian hits tonight to win 3-2. Soria with another save. The win goes to Dylan Covey. And it ends on a very solid play. He was thinking about tossing it, then thought better of it, knew he had the time, and got it there well ahead of Brantley.
You can sleep a little easier tonight before the 1:10 start tomorrow, and this doesn't happen without another superb performance from Dylan Covey.
I thought he was wonderful tonight, and just like we promised, it's time for the Miller Lite Hold True moment, and it's a night of Dylan Covey. He scattered 10 hits. He gave up the 2 runs. They were scored when he had left the ball game, and threw it just very well, neutralizing a very strong Cleveland Indians team, setting up a win tonight. And the Sox so far taken 2 of 3 before the finale tomorrow afternoon. And there you look at what's happened the last couple of starts. He didn't have quite the stuff he had against Boston, but he's beaten 2 really good teams back to back, and what a job he's done.
Okay, so now you have the Sox having won a series against Milwaukee, then won a series against Boston, and now you've got 2 of 3 against Cleveland. This team looks a lot different than it did the first couple months.
Well, it certainly does, and it's getting some really good play from its young players, getting some spectacular pitching, and the bullpen hasn't given up any runs in quite some time. It's like 23, 24 innings. The bullpen has a streak. When the bullpen is shutting him down, the team looks a whole lot better, and they got just enough runs tonight against a very tough Trevor Bauer. He was throwing it as well as he could throw it, but he comes up on the short side of this one.
Downstairs, Chuck Garfien has Charlie Tilson.
Well, Charlie, Trevor Bauer did have great stuff. He had the big RBI triple. Take us through that at bat.
Yeah, I saw Timmy get a great jump, squared around a bunt, figured I'd pull back, let him get the base. Ended up getting a third, infield in. I'm just looking good pitch to get some wood on, try to get him in there, and fortunately I got out on that changeup and was able to put it down the line, and from there it was just off to the races.
Meanwhile, you're having trouble keeping your helmet on your head. It got to the point where in the dugout, and your teammates are trying to tape your helmet to your head. What was that about?
They got my back for sure. I probably got one of the smallest heads in the league, and it's an issue we're still battling with. I had some extra padding in there, but it may take one more pad, I think.
One more question. Dylan Covey, how good has he been?
He's been incredible. I mean, not only in Boston, but you look at tonight, he even let up some hits, but when it really counted, he hunkered down, and he really believes in himself, and it's fun playing behind him because he attacks guys, and he was incredible tonight.
All right, congrats on the win.
Thank you.
All right, Charlie Tilson. Hey, by the way, after that rough start, the White Sox 500 the last 30 games. They're 15-15. Back up to you.
How about that? New Trier's smallest cranium, Charlie Tilson. It makes him more aerodynamic. The RBI triple helps the Sox to the win. 3-2 your final score. That was a fun one tonight. So we say farewell from Guaranteed Rate Field. For our director, Jim Angio, our producer, Keon Dolachahi, our associate producer, Dave Ross, our tech manager, Mark Harper, our executive producer, Greg Bowman, and our entire NBC Sports crew. For our sideline reporters, Southpaw and Chuck Garfien, he's Steve Stone. I'm Jason Benetti. So long from 35th and Shields. Coming up next, Subaru White Sox post-game live after a winner. You've been watching Chicago White Sox baseball on NBC Sports Chicago.